It no longer is because of the superhighway.
And it snows.
It started to snow.
And it snows. And his Hillman Husky is
buttery.
You hated that Hillman Husky.
Oh, I hated it
loved
from
it.
the day I knew
I
it.
loved it.
So,
And we get as far as New Jersey,
we got
and
on
it's
Route
pretty
46.
obvious
There's no Jersey Turnpike.
that this thing is full.
Now I'm going to make it across the George Washington Bridge.
And he says, well now, you know, I'll put you up in the hotel. No, he says to me, you can stay in my room and I'll go to the hotel. And I said, no. And he says, all right, you can stay at the hotel and I'll go to my room. And I say, no. I say, you took me from my mother and boy, you're going to return me.
Get me back.
And so we stop at some place, and as
Route
Martin
46 at a
says,
gas station.
he blesses this fellow forever because he wrapped a
Cloth around the
Cloth
distributor,
around the
stuck up
Oh, so
under the hood, and anything came in under the hood,
and it
got
took
it all wet.
us hours. We went across the Bronx.
We were the only car across the George Washington Bridge. We were the only car that went across Tremont Avenue to the Bronx.
But that would have
We were the
shown
only
me
car on the
that
moving on the Horace Harding Boulevard that night.
And I suppose we got home at 2 in the morning or something, but we got to my mother's.
Oh man!
At which point, there was a raging, really a raging blizzard, and his car got completely covered.
I couldn't
It
come
was
back.
absolutely covered, and it was not until
Well,
a
Monday
neighbor
we got it shoveled out.
that 2 days later, the
Shoveled.
next door neighbor to my
And
mother came over,
shoveled
and
it
the
out,
two
yeah.
of them shoveled it out. And I tell that story, and people look at us as
Well,
though
we
we're
have-
crazy. And I say to
No,
them,
that was.
you took me from my mother, you bring me back.
Does
to
that
my
sound
mother."
familiar though? One night Steve was over and we'd only been dating a couple months. And he's from a real strict Norwegian family. I mean, they are just...
Junior, or John Dolan, no, the 18, no, that's not him. Because he's buried over the marsh.
The cemetery at Glens Falls with
But
Martin.
Lawrence was a brother of your 1857. Yeah, because they came in 1849. Lawrence must have been born after.
Okay, and Grace wasn't...
This is Martin's
Now,
family.
I can tell you who these people are. See, this is my grandfather, Michael, who was a nephew of your Martin. And there's my mother and my father. And James Dolan, 1913. And poor Aunt Betty wanted to be buried here, my mother's sister, but Jane buried her with her husband over in Hudson Falls, which is cool. But where is he? This is Martin, who was a brother of my grandfather, who died in the flu epidemic in 1918. But these are
This was the boy.
No.
No?
This was he died, he served in the Spanish-American War, he was a doctor.
Oh,
He
okay.
died in the flu epidemic. His son Clarence is in California.
Okay, that's the one that's in
Clarence
California.
And my grandfather, Michael Dolan, is a brother of Martin. And where is the... Oh, here it is, John Dolan. See, John Dolan is our forebearer.
And John Jr. was his son.
Yeah. 1818, 1829, 39, 40. He was 30 years old when he came to this country. So he is our forebearer. John Dolan, 1818. He came in 1849, died in 1858, but we don't know where Dora is.
That's still the mystery.
Yeah, so we don't know where his wife is. And Lawrence is the one who gave your Martin. Lawrence was a brother of your Martin. 1857, you see, he was a son of John. John died in 1858, thank God. So Lawrence he had no family, and he's the one that gave your Martin his money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The Martin that went to Minnesota.
The Martin in Minnesota. So
Went by Dowling.
It went by the name. Oh, well, you can see there are
Yeah.
Dowlings here.
There's a Grace Dowling.
Yeah.
Dowlings.
And Marie Dowling.
Now, I don't know, 1851, 1918. Now, he may be the James that had the drugstore with the other boys, but he was born in 18... But James, Gloria says there are 4 Jameses. So...
There are 4?
She says there are at least 4 Jameses. And of course, the other ones are buried elsewhere in the cemetery. So John Dolan is our forebearer, and he had a son, John Jr., obviously, and I don't know, James is the father of the drugstore James. We don't know, I don't know where he's
He's the
buried.
one we can't look.
But you see, there are two brothers of my grandfather's generation, Michael and Martin. But the other, Lawrence, the young Lawrence, it came in just before the flu epidemic. So he was buried somewhere else.
And moved
reinterred here, as was...
That's why his stone matches theirs,
Yeah.
even though he was buried. I got it.
James Dolan's here, my mother's brother. His body was moved from the Bay Street Cemetery in Glens Falls over here.
Huh.
Obviously, he was named after our founding father. So James was the founding father of the dynasty.
There is room in here for you.
Probably not for Gloria, though.
Oh, not for Gloria. Uh-oh. Comes the problem. Made our grandfather
Your grandfather.
wealthy. Well, he lost it somewhere along the way, Martin.
Well, that may be. What do you mean? He built a school for the kids up there. That was a lovely thing to do. Then I'll take you around to a brother of Martin and Michael, John. Lawrence the pharmacist is not this Lawrence, because he was the one who never had any children.
Here.
Are you suffering from berry?
No, I'm not.
Oh, come now.
I'm not.
You're.
Yes. She loves food pictures.
So chew politely. Look at that pretty church with the steeple.
Mouth closed.
Well, I was awed by that store.
Oh, yeah, we went into.
Well, that was a good choice then. You see, it was my idea.
Yes, I'm proud of you.
We went into Newberry's. I haven't been into an old Newberry's in.
Well, I tell you, the Woolworths in Portland is the largest
Kathleen,
Woolworths.
if you are looking for a lovely picture, would you please come over here?
Okay.
There's an opening right. We got trees.
Just where I'm standing.
Like, what do you see? Just the bridge.
Don't move until
In the
she
house.
gets here, Gloria. Could you see?
I'm glad to put something shoes on. It is walking.
Stand right here and look through the...
Oh yes, with
What's
the
there?
trees over
Oh, it's
the.
beautiful. The trees
We
are
like
in the water.
lakes with
Yes.
Mostly camping and hiking and all that stuff. And you know, those hikers go to the high peaks, which has an Arctic. high peaks.
No,
The
not
Arctic region
really.
should be off limits.
Well, Brian joined the Dartmouth Outing Club, and they go on a lot of hikes and stuff. And they have to cart in everything and cart out everything.
Yeah,
Now,
Don't be like the people
I know,
who were
but
here
our
before.
predecessors,
They like
now,
glitter.
what's the name of this town?
Northville.
Northville.
Northville, New York.
New York is pretty.
USA.
And it's
she
the
has a
Red
net
Barn.
on
The
her.
Red Barn Antique.
You
Yes.
want us to,
Lovely,
so you
lovely.
Yes.
Oh,
This
get the barn,
is.
Mother. Get
Yes,
the barn.
I got the barn.
Get the
People get
church
the,
and
you know, the atmosphere. The fact
And
that
put
they're
on
all
there
put
that it's a
buildings. We call
lovely
it Kirk
state.
Camera.
We were wrong. I'm sorry.
Yes, and it is May 1st.
Oh, it's May Day.
May
Yes,
Day.
no, May
We
Yes.
saw a little one carrying her
May
May basket
Day.
yesterday.
It's May Day.
And I got lovely bowls, which I will
Yes.
treasure for my entire life.
Yellow.
Yellow to match.
Yellow.
Not amber.
A complete set.
Fruit in it.
You
The
could.
cracked one. I
Sure.
can use it. I could.
Or walnuts.
And things like
in
that.
For Christmas.
I can still use it. She gave it to us.
Or greenery.
She took off.
Ah.
Turn this.
There's Martin the photographer recording the family history for future generations.
Yeah.
They'll be sitting going through piles of pictures saying, and
Right.
now,
Frickin' Marty, how
Now-
come their head isn't on?
who do you suppose this was?
Well, actually, you have to take many pictures.
Yeah.
Decent pictures.
He's the Doris counterpart of
Yes.
the family.
I don't
Now, was this a Dolan, a Dowling, a Stewart, George, a Taylor,
Marco.
huh? And there will be Jane
Yes.
doing the barbecue, doing the Barbie,
Doing the Barbie.
and she's a lovely tap dancer. Yes.
An example, please. Here she goes.
Yes,
She does.
yeah.
Get it for
Look
posterity.
at thlook at those twinkling toes.
The
Oh,
soft shoe now.
Mother, I
oh.
want you to give
Oh.
her saying she will come cross country.
There,
for
we have
prosperity.
that recorded.
That's
Jane.
enough. That's enough. I can't do any more.
Oh,
Cooking.
I have to
She's
get back to my cooking.
She is the barbecuess.
I have to get back. Oh God, I have to get this right. I have to get this right.
We're taking notes. So far, you've done well. Now, if your AAA rating goes down because of your cookout, we'll be really disappointed.
Well, that'll be because you have created the problem.
We've
She can't
diverted her.
concentrate.
and she's doing medium well, rare.
Hope.
Oh,
I hope.
One pass over the plane.
I'm not positive.
You ought to at least get the
Thermometer?
oh,
is
which?
80.
Oh, yes, the temperature, which is. I must get a close up so everyone can.
82 degrees.
82 degrees, and
And
this is the
hometown
1st
USA.
of May.
Glens Falls, New York.
It's a
You
little
must remember
over.
you have a tin roof, so it might be just.
Well,
Are you aware that this also tapes conversations?
Yes. And I have a lovely voice.
You do, and it will come
Yes.
out nicely.
It doesn't. It's
We will
terrible.
sit
My
and
voice is
giggle at
terrible.
the...
it isn't quite comparable to the dancing skill,
No.
but
We
It was
saw
TV, it was
Michael's
the video.
wedding
Oh,
and
It was
Honeymoon.
Michael's
terrible. It was terrible.
And we're firm believers that if you've lived through it, you don't,
don't need
have
to review.
You don't need to.
No, if you want to see it in your own bedroom, fine.
Oh, that type of
And
thing.
so
Oh, no, it
the
wasn't dirty, but it
entertainment
was-
at
it was
Thanksgiving
dumb.
one year was looking at all of
It
these
was
things.
dumb.
And I
It should be
said,
edited.
okay.
It should be. It's like you
And they
take
don't
pictures and you
edit
throw
them.
them away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Cut out
because
the
we
ones
had
you
to
want.
do that.
Time. It's not a thing we have to do. It's just all about.
Oh, I can
Well, you don't. No, I don't mean you can go and do your lesson and or your whatever you want to do,
Lesson.
and in 5 minutes.
He's not teaching on
Well-
Monday, only you are.
Oh, is that it? You're,
I got to write a test on
you're
the
thinking.
kids. They're not kids. They say, well, take it easy on us. I said, look, a good test is a hell of a lot of work.
yes.
An easy test will either flunk you or pass you.
Yeah, because that's what Brian said. He said, boy, the teacher must have been in a bad mood because this was an easy test and we'll probably all flunk it.
But a good test that kind of separates them out a little is very hard. Well, so they said, okay.
You know what I'll do? I'll go in and get a sharp knife, and you can check them out.
Cut them
Here we go.
We got it.
Here we go. We
Oh,
got it.
they're
got
right.
it.
All right. They
We
are
got a
right.
skill. We got a skill.
Jane,
Wait,
my little
apprentice
cousin.
cook.
I have my little cousin.
Apprentice cook now. Steve does this at home. I don't
Yes.
touch the cooker at home.
Well, he didn't touch it either.
Steve does
Is the
all
chief.
the
We do ours
Look,
at our
I'm
house.
proud then that I've been allowed.
Now be careful because this is sharp, and then there's got the pliers there, whatever you
Well,
call
how
them.
prevalent is
And there's
cribbing?
the tray.
Do you have a
Okay.
problem
Mine
of?
is
They're
There really isn't a problem. I give open book tests in physics anyway and
What are you going to
astronomy.
do with that?
And I still get a grade distribution. And I could do it in mathematics, but I don't. I don't in mathematics. But,
They look lovely.
they're not that, if they're good students, good students.
Yeah,
If
they
they're not
don't
good
need to.
students,
Yeah.
I had
It
a
doesn't do them any
wonderful
good.
recipe of
I didn't get the idea to give open book tests years ago in the 50s. I read an article by a guy, I was teaching at Cortland State, by a guy at Oswego State.
herself.
He said, I give open book tests. I said, okay, I'll give open book tests. And there's always a little something. You don't know the charge of the electron, you don't know the mass of the electron, you don't know some constant. Okay, because I don't know it myself, then I can look it up.
And what's the point of memorizing all of that?
And it's no point.
There isn't.
And if you have the form, if you don't understand what's behind the formulas, giving them the formulas doesn't do them any good. In fact, it gives them a terribly false sense of security.
Yeah.
So, in a sense, I suppose I shouldn't give an open book test, but except it keeps them there longer. If I give a closed book test, they're through in 20 minutes. If I give them an open book test, they take an hour and 20 minutes. Coming through the book, they get the same grade.
themselves to all that
And
material.
the pages have been turned. for
The
the
page,
first
yeah,
time.
for the first.
Yeah,
I
but
want-
that's where we're buying.
I
The
want-
answer must be in here
Hey,
somewhere.
Don't get those mixed up.
No.
when I first
And if
taught,
I slide off, you're going to be in bad
I-
trouble.
Exact same order. She's got them rimmed for the done.
yeah,
You can tell the difference. The rares in the center
okay.
and the sort of.
Are you
well, that
sure?
one's- oh,
Are you
yes.
sure? When I first taught, I was helping a guy
Well, I've learned.
who's a sociologist, proctored an exam. He said, look at the textbooks. Some have not been used this whole year. There was no smudging on them. So I tell him, I grade them on the basis of the smudges in the textbook.
Not this
The more
highlighter
smudging,
either.
the
You
more,
don't
no,
do a highlight, your little
no.
life away.
The more smudging, the better the grade.
Well, Brian says he's seen people write every word a professor has said. But Brian doesn't hear well. He's got a stationary eardrum in one side, so he only has 35% hearing in one ear, and he had surgery in the other one, so he can hear about 60 to 70% with this ear. And we were going to get him a little tape recorder. We thought, well, you know, we could record the, you know, the lectures and stuff. And he said, you don't need to. It's such a small process. You know that if he just sits by the professor, he can read lips. So if they don't have a beard, he's fine. Yeah, if they have a beard, he's in trouble. And he said there is this one girl, and she's been in 2 of his classes, and she writes down every word. I mean, the and it, you know. And he said, she must just be manic to be able to remember all this stuff. And he said, it's not necessary. I mean, he writes down key things. He also has an extremely good memory, but
It's difficult to teach them.
Are we trying?
still, yeah.
Well, look
I
at
mean,
it.
it's cooking, it's
They will,
cooking.
I mean,
I have to tell you
I
though,
think you should be
Peggy,
sitting down.
you
Hey,
haven't even
yes.
been,
Got this in your hand.
you haven't even been drinking,
If it isn't
and
right,
that
we're gonna have
lid
trouble.
is
We're
on
in trouble.
working.
Big trouble.
Should we pluck them off now?
they're not done. I
They're not
just
done.
checked.
Just
She
check.
checked.
I did check. I did.
Huh? Yeah, well, I have a friend who teaches biology at Green River.
Not Denny White, I hope.
Yes,
Oh my gracious,
Dennis.
that man.
beautiful. I love Dennis
I do
Gurley.
too,
He's the love of my life. Well, anyway, he has a stand. He just retired, but he has a standing that if anyone
Oh, they
of his
cook
students could find
Yeah.
the nest and egg of the spotted murrelet, that they would get an A+ in his class.
Yeah. Not too
No
much
one
more.
has ever found. And believe me, there have been many, many who have looked, because he's very,
That's a hot little-
he's a very rigid person
Is it
in
something
his.
that's rare then?
Yeah. Well, the spotted murrelet isn't, but they're a shorebird that nests up on the low altitude of the mountains along streams, and they're so very difficult to find. And they're a speckled egg that blend in. The nest blends in, and the egg blends in. So they're very, very difficult to find.
Remember, well, we stopped to just look at the ocean, and somebody came over to us and said, got to get out of the car, we've got to look at this eagle.
Bald
over
eagle,
there."
well,
Oh, yeah.
Lord,
And it
1,000
wasn't
miles
that
away.
far away.
An old
I
dead
mean,
tree on
if I'm lucky I
and
can
this
see
camera
it.
does
We
not
need to
have,
look.
you know, it really doesn't have telescopic
And so
lenses.
we went out and we did the appropriate act.
Yes.
And after we got to the guys,
Did you see it?
And it's dumb, I don't bring binoculars. I got opera binoculars and I've got big binoculars.
and we never do
And I
take
don't think
them.
it, well, they like so much.
Well, the eagle population is increasing in the state.
Yeah, it is. Considerable.
We're getting a real good, healthy hatches now, where we were having real problems. The hatches were
Well, people were killing them
either dead
too.
or
Some
deformed
that,
from
remember
the
those guys
chemicals.
that just were.
Maybe you better tend to.
Yes.
Don't want her to have.
If it doesn't come out fine,
You
are.
could
But I
lose your
said, I
job.
wanna be the-
What trouble
be
you are in.
dispatched.
I'm probably going to say, listen, that's too well done.
Well, now look at it and see, is yours done
Oh,
enough?
that's fine.
Oh, trust me.
They should be done.
Trust
Yes.
you.
You
Take
said
them
that
off.
Should I trust her, Jane?
Wrong, Peggy. You
Take
got
'em
this
off.
wrong.
Take 'em
You'll
off.
never be invited again.
I don't like the center to look like it looked when it was in the package. I
Yeah,
want it
well,
to
that's
be
not
at least
rare,
Put the lid
though.
on there.
okay. See?
That's not rare,
Stop
then.
waving your arms and do something.
Take them off.
But I can play castanets.
Take them off.
Not yours.
You can always put them back on.
Okay. When you
If
bite
they're-
into this.
No, I mean the
No, no,
rare.
I meant yours.
No.
No, that's all right. Leave them on for a while.
Well, I don't want it to get. Oh, there.
Terrific, yeah.
But if they get
Well, I
dry,
cut through the center. You see.
if they're dry.
Well, you come be a judge, but I say
No, you were given the job. Don't push it off on anyone
they
else.
don't smell quite done.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think we have a 30-second period.
If they're well
Okay,
done,
where's the
watch?
you're
Wait
in
a
big
couple more
trouble.
minutes. Wait a couple more minutes.
Wait, where's Bugs Bunny? My Bugs Bunny watch. It would have let me know.
Uh-huh.
Now the sun is on that. That's up to 85.
Yeah.
Well, the sun is on this, and between this and the sun.
Oh, yeah.
That's why Jane gave it to me.
Yeah, she suffers from the heat.
Oh.
Okay.
And you wouldn't think I would because I'm so dark, and I do.
She hates the
I
heat.
just
I
can't
don't
tolerate
like.
it.
When it gets to be
And,
85,
she loves being
90.
up north. She doesn't complain.
Well, at home it's so humid
Here it's dry.
that the heat is. It gets really. I can't.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's thinking there's somewhere to hook this.
She hooks it on the side somehow.
Oh, there it is.
Oh yeah, she hooks it on the side.
I'm not a hot weather person.
Good girl.
I have the same one but bigger at home, but like I said, Steve does it. Come on. I don't get to touch it. It's not my job.
Yeah, that's a job.
Steve always, or Scott,
Do the
barbecue.
barbecuing.
Scott loves to barbie. He's,
Now I'm judging that. This one
Which one is
James.
which?
Yeah, that's a rare one.
This is mine and Gloria's because they're white. They didn't even get the searing heat.
is that the?
Oh, now wait, we have to do it in order. Those are the rare. This is the medium rare. And the ones that are
It
dead
doesn't
we
matter.
leave on the
It
grill.
doesn't matter with me. I don't care.
I like mine.
I know.
I like mine
Dead.
cooked.
She likes her eggs dead. She likes her meat dead.
No, eggs can be a little, but
Okay, don't mix these up.
Jane,
Rare,
are you
rare,
talking
medium.
to yourself?
now if it isn't cooked enough, it can go back on. Now
That
if
she
it's
says.
too,
To me, that's cooked enough.
Yeah.
To me, that's good.
okay.
Now this is James, and she wanted a little gunner, right? Let's see. Cooked enough.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes.
Hey, I'm good. Just a minute, I'll check the
Just
dead meat over
a few
here.
more minutes.
Or should we go?
Oh, that E. coli scare was
Oh, whoa, this
really
is, this
tragic.
is good. This is gray inside.
They're still.
That's
they're-
what I call done meat, gray. Right,
I
gray
think
meat.
we're not supposed to go in.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Yeah, when they're all done. Give them another few seconds on the gray
well,
meat.
you might want it.
They must be
these
done
in.
by
Those
now.
Debbie down
I
there.
took off the rare, the medium rare, the dead ones are still on there.
Yeah.
I think I'll go ahead and take them off now.
Yeah.
I'm not yours totally.
Oh, sorry for me. Don't worry about me. Don't
You
the
leave it
least
in?
worry about me. I'll take that in. Don't worry about me.
Right,
They're all right with me.
You stop the order, left to right. Sometimes I'm not just. Oh, she got lovely clothes. You want some more, Isma? Dead meat. Dead meat. That's how you can tell is there was blood draining out of mine and Gloria's. They're done. Up on the porch. There's a sack of food. Matter of fact, I just said it's beer can. Here we come with tongs in hand. Maybe the door now. Oh, look at the blood leaking out. Oh, perfection.
It's all right.
We're
I'm
here.
sure it's fine.
The apprentices worry, you know.
I know, you should.
I do.
Now we are at James Stewart's Gourmet Restaurant.
This is fine. This is
I don't know
perfect.
how gourmet it
Yeah, I
is.
won't eat it in case
Here, Glory.
Kathleen's isn't done well enough. This is perfect.
Oh, it is?
It'll be as
Yeah.
done
Oh, that's
then.
good.
It will be as
Oh,
done.
mine looks fine. Yes,
Well,
it
cut
looks.
open, we'll see.
Trust us in this
Hey,
endeavor.
trust us, trust
I
us.
think I did chop into hers at one point.
Sure, they're all right.
Hey, we're good.
Hey, go to another restaurant.
That was for you to get your stuff home.
Here, look,
You buy
look,
like
look,
No,
look.
I bought nothing.
Big shot. I got
Oh,
this
look
stuff.
at
We're packing Peggy's dishes that she bought at the Big Red Barn.
Yeah? Yeah?
And they are special.
You're gonna think I'm a farmer. Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Now she packed this and
Yeah.
damn it, it becomes 5
See, that
crack
says
balls.
I'm writing to you guys.
Red Rose Table Wine. Everybody's gonna think I drink Red
well, we
Rose
won't
Table
tell them.
Wine.
By the case.
You don't drink.
Yeah, that's me.
She doesn't imbibe. I'll tell them.
Oh, see?
Oh,
See?
oh, oh,
I think I have even
Oh, you need
labels.
more than
oh.
that.
Just a minute. Oh, Steve goes through rolls of this
Yes,
stuff.
so do we.
Well, here, go for it.
No. Martin hates that, don't you? You
We
never-
use the clearing.
It
It's
doesn't see-
awful. I
it doesn't come out
can't
nice.
see. I can't see. No, wait. We gotta go
Put it
across.
crosswise.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I can't see Martin. How far
Well,
are
you're
you?
doing all right. You're a girl of great
I
ability.
am. Mrs. Miller didn't
Don't
think
go
so.
all the way down.
No, I didn't.
Apparently I don't have labels, but I have
Oh, it
a
didn't work.
wonderful marker.
Are they going to think I'm sending wine back to wine country?
No, you can put a little
It's
Pepsi on it.
probably, it will cross the border.
Pepsi.
though,
Oh, yes,
Gallo.
they'll say, I don't know
There.
about that.
That's all right.
And
Come on, Mark, don't use all that tape.
How much does it weigh? Oh, it's not that heavy.
No.
No, it's not.
No, you write the address and write it. 21 Biscuits.
No.
Hey, like the, one year.
You have to come visit it and
We had to tell you why.
Yeah, this is a hazard. Hazard. Having us send anything.
1 year.
Christmas a couple of years
A
ago.
couple of years
Oh
ago.
God, my
I
wine
ordered
glasses.
the Spode Christmas
Oh,
wine
what
glasses.
a dinny dimwit.
And in whatever it was, for whatever
You were
reason.
sending John and Ann something.
That's
And
nice,
I
right?
put 21 Elizabeth Street.
Schenectady.
Schenectady.
Oh no.
And there was a 21 Elizabeth Street.
In Schenectady.
I went to someone else
And
and they never had the decency.
and they-
Send them forward. That
Oh, they did. They didn't forward them, but
No,
the
but eventually,
UP went and picked them up.
Horchow, I called Horchow and I said, you know, this is terrible. And they said, well, you did send them to 21 Elizabeth Schenectady. And I said, well, it was big error on my part. And I said, I expect you to make restitution. Blah, 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 blah. And so they contacted the people and eventually they returned them.
Well, that's like
But
Oh,
it
it
was,
was
nothing.
mother.
it
You
was.
got a gift
you
in
had-
February. Who
yeah,
gets a gift in
Christmas in
February?
Oh, it was marvelous.
Well, that's kind of special.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
the
hope-
box is secure in the
I
car.
hope it's a quiet evening all over. I hope.
Oh, I hope so too. Oh, don't get my white hair in it.
Wait, get her from the full face so she doesn't look bald.
Oh,
very
and
important.
tiptoe through the tulips today. This is Proctor, Vermont, and this is where they quarry marble. Very famous, very famous. Quite an historic site. Sunday morning, driving through the lovely farm country of Vermont. Whoa! Big time farm! A little ostentatious.
We're going to buy it for Larry.
We'll buy it for Larry. It's a
Look at all the
fixer-upper.
trees he could cut.
Sunday afternoon, and the sun is shining in Woodstock. This is their lovely, lovely, beautiful, beautiful cemetery. We're across the river from town.
How great.
Beautiful, beautiful, lovely pink house.
Lovely,
We'll buy this one for our summer home. Fly out every year.
It is brick.
This is Main Street in Woodstock, Vermont, which is a beautiful, beautiful city. It's the Woodstock Inn, which is just a little country inn. This is Marblehead, Massachusetts, where there are gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous mansions all along the waterfront. freezing to death at 40 degrees. What a change from 80 degrees up in New Hampshire and Vermont and upstate New York. This is going up one of the very narrow streets with bugs on the windshield. Old North Church in Marblehead. This is typical of the very old houses that line these streets by the hundreds that are still being lived in. A little bungalow, dated. With campaign signs. This is where the deed that was signed in the 1600s to buy this area is now being kept safe. Just little old houses that are probably 200 or 300 years old. We're on the other side of the harbor from Marblehead, and there is Abbott up on the hill. This is just as the sun is going down. Even though the sun is shining, it is cold. This is the old dock harbor at Salem, which unfortunately they are repairing after the winter storm. And this is the old lady's home, the custom house. This was a house that was built to be lived in, but he never lived in it. He used it for a warehouse. And this is his house. And down the street is the Pig's Ear, where we had lunch this afternoon. Right there. In a Pig's Eye. And there's the Witch's Brew right across the street. We didn't. This is the House of Seven Gables. Lovely old tree that they're trying to save. It looks like a maple. It's probably too dark, but we're going to give it a shot anyway. And those are chestnut trees. Houses in back of House of Seven Gables.
This is where you go in.
This is Tuesday morning, and we are in the lovely town of North Beverly. And this is an extremely old house, which looks quite new. For being built in 1666, is wonderfully preserved. Another lovely old bungalow, and the windows are the original glass. Another lovely, lovely little bungalow that survived for 300 and some odd years. It's just a residential area with houses hundreds of years old that they're still living in. Pretty scary, they're still living in them. Ours fall down after 50. And right next door is how they earned their money in later years. A great big, humongous, ugly, ugly factory. And now they play in the playground next door to the house that's 350 years old. Rockport. By the sea. Eating lunch in a beautiful ocean front.
If you want to.
Rockport. Peggy eating her Norwegian rosette.
It's custard.
And my lemon custard.
Lemon sponge pudding.
Lemon sponge pudding. This is out the window of the restaurant. And in the restaurant. Awkward art. Peggy says this is Baby and Frog.
Richard Recchia.
Richard who?
Recchia.
Refia?
Enough pictures of her.
This is just outside of Ipswich. I don't know. The houses in this area date from 1630 on up.
Back foot. This one's a 1 foot, Mom.
The swans are feeding. I don't know what they're feeding on. Just blowing bubbles.
Oh, he's supposed to.
Mama Swan, or Daddy Swan. Obviously, the old burying ground in lovely Ipswich.
Look at his spelling.
Yeah, this one has it too.
Pound the hole. And guess where we are now?
Look this way and wave happily. Ooh! We're in outlet heaven. I'm in heaven. This is even bigger than North Conway. Would you believe? What is this called?
Almost done.
My God, everything disappeared.
This is called Souvenir Heaven. We don't want to forget anybody.
This is stuff the bag time.
Doris's little thing on my purse. Doris's little. Oh, there. Special.
Break a bowl.
Can't shop tomorrow because I can't get in my purse. But I got 3 pockets. That's good. Quit video.
Oops, it's a good thing it's the last night, because there went the cooler.
Quit taking pictures.
Oh my God, we did make our way here finally. We could have done it easier in a horse and wagon. We couldn't get into Boston because everybody told us to go over the Mystic Bridge. The map said go over the Mystic River Bridge. We stopped and asked a alcohol, tobacco, and firearms man agent who was washing his car back in Chelsea, where in the hell is this bridge? He said go up under that little tunnel and turn on the second left, and you'll cross the Mystic River Bridge. But every time we got there, it was the Tobin Bridge. They're one and the same. They now call it the Tobin Bridge.
Or the Mystic.
A very nice man at the U.S. Constitution Memorial explained that to us. The Forest Service came to our aid. This is Old North Church down a narrow street with row houses on each side. I wouldn't live here for anything. This is the street in front of Old North Church. Square in back of Old Boston North Church with a Forest Service person leading a tour. Peggy walking through the square. So Paul Revere, who, as you know, gave the warning that the Redcoats were coming at North Church. St. Stephen's Church, the second oldest church in Boston. Quite a stir. Confessionals. Peggy's not going in. No. It's quite a beautiful. Self-explanatory. Actually, we are right directly up from the harbor. In Boston, where the old Mariners Club, and there's a tour of Boston school children in back of us, and right in back of me is where they found a woman's head, and the TV crews are filming. This is Faneuil Hall and Market Square. You can hear the sounds of the big city. Guess where we are? At the Big Mac. Just to use inside Faneuil Hall. Looking out of the window of Faneuil Hall down to the Market Street. It could be at Pike Place Market. This is top of Faneuil Hall, which is a military museum. A very interesting fan-shaped windows looking out over the square. This has always been used for the armory. This is the very top floor. Oh, a survivor of the war.
I've already had a couple of them.
Masses of people in Faneuil Hall, which is an artillery museum. Patiently waiting in her black shirt now, which I was looking for a gray. I'm not sure what this building is, but since I'm here, we're taking a shot of it, and it's right at the bottom of this skyscraper. This is downtown Boston. These narrow streets are crazy. Anybody who drives here is taking their life in their own hands. The building that I didn't know the name of was the old. This is Old City Hall, which now has Francois Restaurant. Demonstration in Boston Square. Boston Gas Union locked out. The whole line of King's Chapel. They've got more churches in this town than any town I've been in.
There's that truck spewing diesel.
Benjamin Franklin was buried here. Oh, tombstone. I've never seen an angel with a death skull on its wings. The plural Constitution is being refurbished. This is the new Constitution, which is now the old Constitution. Whoops, it's not the Constitution, it's the Casey and Young.